Available Sriraj Mataji. Whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Radha Krishna and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narotayam Devi Saraswati Vyasham Tato Jaye Uddare Nistyuprayeshu Adveshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. Thank you, Prabhuji, for bringing it up. Hare Krishna. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 6, Prescribed Duty for Mankind. Deity vows to kill King Indra from
35 to 45, Mataji.
35 to 45. Text 35. My dear wife, whose body is so beautiful, your waist being thin, a conscious wife should be chaste and should abide by the order of her husband. She should very devoutly worship her husband as a representative of Vasudeva. My dear, text 36. My dear gentle wife, because you have worshipped me with great devotion, considered me as a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I shall reward you by fulfilling your desires, which are unobtainable for an unchaste wife. Text 37. DT replies, O my dear husband, O great soul, I have now lost my son. If you want to give me a benediction, I ask you for an immortal son who can kill Indra. I pray for this because Indra, who with the help of Vishnu, has killed my two sons, Hiranyakashu, eh, Hiranyakasha, and Hiranyakasup. Text 38. Upon hearing Diti's request, Kashyap Muni was very much aggravated. Alas, he lamented, now I face the danger of the impious act of killing Indra. Text 39. Uh, Kasap Muni thought, alas, I now have become too attached to the material enjoyment. Taking advantage of this, my mind has been attached by the illusionary energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a woman, my wife. Therefore, I am surely a wicked person who will glide down towards hell. Text 40. This woman, my wife, has adopted a mean that follows her nature, and therefore she is not to be blamed. But I am a man, therefore all condemnation upon me. I am not at all concerned with what is good for me, since I could not control my senses. Text 41. A woman faces a woman's face is attractive and beautiful as a blossoming lotus flower during autumn. Her words are very sweet and they give pleasure to the ears. But if we study a woman's heart, we can understand it to be extremely sharp, like a blade of razor. In these circumstances, who could understand the dealing of a woman? Text 42. To satisfy their own interests, women deal with men as if the men were the most dear to them. But no one is actually dear to them. Women are supposed to be very saintly, but for their own interests, they can kill even their husbands, sons, or brothers, or cause them to be killed by others. Text 43. I promise to give her benediction, and this promise cannot be violated. But Indra does not deserve to be killed. In these circumstances, the solution I have is quite suitable. Text 44. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Kasap Muni, thinking in this way, became somewhat angry. condemning himself. O Maharaj Parikshit, descendant of the Kauras, he spoke to deity as follows. Text 45. Kasat Muni said, "My dear gentle wife, if you follow my instruction regarding this vow for at least 1 year, you will be surely get a son who will be able to kill Indra. However, if you deviate from this vow or following the Vaishnava principle, you will get a son who will be favorable to Indra." Text 46. Diti replied, "My dear Brahmer, I must accept your advice and follow the vow. Now let me understand what I have to do, what is forbidden and what will not break the vow. Please clearly state all this to me." Text 47. Kasap
That's
Muni
enough.
said, Thank you,
Yeah, we're
Prabhuji.
done for today, Mataji. There.
Okay, no problem, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
for
Mataji.
giving me the opportunity to
Ah,
read, Prabhuji.
sure. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Yeah, Achyuta Mataji, whenever you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuj. Thank you, Mataji, for reading. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let me share my screen here. Prabhu, I'm not able to share my screen. Is it possible for somebody to share? Or
Okay.
Mataji?
You made you co-host only, right? Yeah, you want me to share?
Yeah, Prabhu, this is another computer
Sure,
that
I
I'm
can
using.
share, yeah.
Sorry. I had to enable the settings and then it'll kick me out of the meeting.
No
If I,
problem, I can share it.
yeah, thank
Let
you.
me know you want to see the purport probably, right? Let me make it.
Yeah, just the advanced view and
Okay, sure.
purports. Yeah. So we'll start with our first text. There are a lot of points in this particular section, in this particular pastime, actually. And I just want to focus on a couple of items. Uh, uh, so basically, in this particular pastime, Diti is. The background of this story is basically Diti is has lost her two sons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, and she feels that the Indra is to be blamed for the loss of her sons, and that's why she's lamenting. She's desiring that she is lamenting and she is in grief of losing her sons, and that's why she develops this desire of killing King Indra, because she feels like Indra is responsible for the loss of her two sons. So I just want to touch a little bit on this feeling of lamentation that Diti is feeling, uh, as she has lost her children. Um, so basically, when I mean we all have experienced probably in our lives, of somebody passing away, either in our immediate family or in the extended family or friend circle. At some point of time, some loss of some member that we were close to, or that we um, um, uh, Prabhu, I think we lost the screen share. Um, yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
Mataji, say it again. Thank you.
Thank you. So um so this feeling of lamentation is very common. It's very very natural, and basically, like, I was even um it's not that, I mean, of course we know from Bhagavad Gita, like even Arjuna was lamenting, right? The entire Bhagavad Gita was spoken because Arjuna was going through lamentation, and he was feeling like, oh, if he is going to kill, if he is going to end up in this battle, then he will have to kill um, his family members, and who are almost like his grandparents and parents. So he was lamenting on the bodily level, and we know that Krishna, right from the beginning, in the second chapter itself, like, he mentions a lot of verses condemning this mentality of thinking on the bodily platform. So Diti was also in the same similar situation. She was lamenting because she thought that she has lost her sons, and she was on the bodily platform of life, where she was thinking, oh, they've been separated from her. But uh, Lord Krishna, when he was talking to Arjuna, he condemned this particular idea of lamenting for the material body. And the Bhagavad Gita starts with that. There's a there's a nice pastime of Yamaraj, actually. So there was this king called, I forget his name. Let me see here real quick. Um, yeah, there was a king, and he passed away, and his queens all gathered around his body, and they were lamenting, and their lamentation was like so loud that Yamaraj could hear it in his Yamaloka. So Yamaraj, actually, he came, he took the form of a young boy, and then he came, and then he chastised the queens. He said that you're mourning for something that is not worthy for grief, and only a miserly person who refuses to understand, a kripana, he invests his energy in temporary or illusory attachments for his body and the bodies of his dear ones, without and the bodies of his dear ones. So basically, like, he's just, those who are wise, they do not lament for the body. Krishna also mentions in the second chapter that, you should not grieve for the body. You have no reason to lament, he tells Arjuna. And what is the need for lamentation? You should not lament for any living being. um, so it's not that, we should not lament, but basically the lament should be channeled in the right direction. So bodily lamentation is not acceptable, when we are on this path, or in this journey. But spiritual lamentation is very much advisable. In fact, um, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always lamenting for the association of great devotees, for the association of the Lord, and we should always lament that we have lost the association of good devotees. So that should be the our way to channel our lamentation. That should be our way, that we should always desire the lamentation should basically fuel our spiritual growth. So that is how lamentation will become purification. these emotions of grief and lamentation is very natural, and basically it's this is a very strong emotion. And and the great souls, they lament, and but again they lament for listening to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, for hearing from the great saints, for associating with the devotees, for performing devotional service. So basically that strengthens, um, it strengthens us, it should inspire us, and it should uplift us and not degrade us. So that is uh, what I wanted to touch on. And then in the next verse, um, in the next couple of verses, the Kashyap Muni is very pleased with the devotion of his wife. That she has basically served him. So this particular aspect of service is also um, something that is that can please anybody. You serve. So just as a wife here in this example is has served her husband, and she has received, basically in the end, Kashyap Muni is very pleased with her service. So similarly, a disciple should also serve his or her spiritual master. And this act of service is very pleasing in general, um, uh, for uh, uh, to get their attention, to get their mercy. um, so she pleases, she pleases Kashyap Muni. And then Kashyap Muni asks her, "Oh, okay. So now you have, I'm very pleased with your service. I will reward you with whatever you desire." And Diti is actually very intelligent, because she knows that her husband is very advanced, and she knows who to approach for her desire to be fulfilled. So um, even if even if even if he was, so basically she approaches her husband, and then as soon as Kashyap Muni realizes, that what her actual desire is, that basically she wants a son to who can kill Indra. That is her actual desire. So that was why she was serving the whole time. That was why she was trying to please him, so that he can benedict her. He can offer her that benediction, that um, oh, I can, that with a son, who can kill Indra. So in the next couple of verses, Kashyap Muni is regretting. He is regretting that, he immediately regrets that. He's like, oh my God, like, oh, what? I did not so much, like, she has served me so nicely. I did not even realize what was her intention. And he basically is lamenting that particular fact, that he never realized what her intentions were. And in the next few verses, there is this, uh, there is this, a mention of, what he was actually thinking. He says, "Alas, I've now become too attached to material enjoyment. Taking advantage of this, my mind has been attracted by the illusory energy of the personality of God in the form of a woman. So therefore, I'm a wretched person, and I will glide down to hell." So he's basically very regretful that, he has become attached to his wife's service, the enjoyment that she was providing him. And and that now that he has mentioned that, okay, I will give whatever you want. He Now that he realizes that what she actually wants, he's very regretful of that, um, of the situation. And so in the next few verses, the nature of a woman is described. And it is very, it says that the women in general are very cruel hearted. They're very hard hearted. They don't think, they don't have, if they want something, if they come to their selfishness, then it is they can go up to any extent. They can even kill their husband, they kill their family, for getting what they want. And all of this is like, they nobody can even know their intention. So if they are like serving their husband properly, serving, so externally they might be doing a lot of services, but we I mean, it's very difficult to understand their intentions, their emotions, their heart. um and this is how basically Diti was serving her husband. And of course, this is true. I mean, of course, for women, but I mean, I feel like this could be true for anybody. But again, it's very natural for women to have these tendencies, because women are actually, they're born with this, basically. um and of course, this is not for Krishna conscious women, or women who are performing devotion service to the Lord, but this is basically for, in general, like, general statement. um so um yeah, so basically, um yeah, and then it says in the next verse, it says, to satisfy their own interest, women deal with men as if men were most dear to them, but no one is actually dear to them. Women are supposed to be very saintly, but for their own interest, they can even kill their husband, their sons, brothers, or cause them to be killed by others. um so again, like, this is how the general women's nature is, and this is what is highlighted in general, like, in women's how a women's nature is. And this is what Kashyap Muni is thinking. It is not actually she. And then he goes on to say that in the next verse, that it is actually not her fault. Like, I promised to give her the benediction, and I have to find a solution for this. And um, the way, because it is basically, she is just acting in her womanly behavior and her womanly nature. So she is not to be blamed. I am to be blamed, because I was supposed to understand her. I was supposed to um, understand her intentions of the reason that why she was serving. um, and then in the next um, couple of verses, he was thinking this way, and then basically he condemned himself. And then he says, that, okay, my dear wife, like, he tells Diti that, if you follow my instructions, if you want to achieve whatever you want, then you have to follow these set of instructions for the next 1 year, and you will get a son who will be able to kill Indra. But there is a particular term called Indraha, which, in the first few verses we've seen, when Diti mentions that I want a son who can kill Indra. So Indraha refers to somebody who's an enemy of Indra, but actually, it also means somebody who can be a friend of Indra. So there are, like, like in Sanskrit, uh, there are like multiple meanings to the words. So the words Indraha Deva Bandhava uh, is also another way. Another meaning of that is, that you will get a son who can be a bandhava, or a bandhu of Indra, or a friend of Indra. um, so yeah, so basically, like, another aspect that I was thinking about this was, no matter what the condition of the heart is, no matter how diseased we are, no matter how much impurity we have in our heart, if we perform devotional service, our we will be internally cleansed, even as women, shudras, no matter what our situation is, no matter how degraded we are, we will be purified eventually by this process of devotional service. And Kashyap Muni, very strategic, very, I mean, he probably was like so advanced that he could actually, fulfill her desire right then and there. But he actually let the process of devotional service cleanse her first, and then give her what she wanted. Um, so he basically knew the effect of devotional service. He knew the effect of this purification that this devotional service or bhakti can do, and he let the process take over her desire. So purify her desire. So that is what he did, and then in the rest of the story, we will hear that he prescribed this Pumsavan Vrata, which she needs to perform for at least 1 year. And he, in this 45th verse, he mentions, by if you follow this for at least 1 year, then this Pumsavan Vrata, then you will get a son who can be Indraha. So uh, so there are a lot of austerities, lot of even lot of vratas that he has mentioned, a couple of vratas that he has mentioned, like this one was to Diti, and then to Aditi he mentioned Payovrata. So by performing these kind of vratas, which are not just austerities of the physical body, but it also or physical body or mind, but it also basically is austerity of austerity that will purify everything, that will purify the consciousness, that will purify. So devotion service is very potent, very strong, and by performing this devotional service, it even um, purified the heart of Diti, which was she had that um, she had this desire to even to kill a person, right? So that is the worst intention that one can have for anybody, and to purify that kind of consciousness, um, devotional service is the only way that can do that. So somebody who is on the level of a guru, or on the level of a um, uh, like a mentor for somebody, we don't I mean they don't really, I mean, a lot of times a guru might not know, a lot of time a mentor or president, or in a somebody who is in a higher position, or a husband, they might not know why somebody is serving them, why somebody wants to do something, why somebody wants to please them. But um, it is always intelligence to engage them in devotional service, engage the person that wants to serve in devotional service of the Lord, so that their natural tendencies, their natural desires, so for whatever intentions they are looking for, somebody might serve for a good position, somebody might serve for um, whatever their intention is, it can be purified, and eventually they will attain the devotional service, and their desires will be purified, and they will have the right desire and intention of serving the Supreme Lord and serving his devotees. So that is what I wanted to say. Thank you again for the opportunity. This is again for my purification. Sundaram Prabhu, if you want to add something, please feel free. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very nice, Mate. Thank you for so much for sharing, Mate. I just wanted to share one thing. Sri Rupada comments in the purports of this section, because this section is Kashyap's criticism of women is very, very harsh and very direct. So he's explaining two things. One is this criticism is applicable for materialistic women who are in the bodily conception of life. So then obviously when somebody is in bodily conception of life, whether it's woman or man, they'll be thinking about selfish enjoyment only. But in this case, uh, so same is in this case also with Diti. However, like Achyuta Radhika Maji nicely pointed out, we see in the same pastime in the coming days classes that Diti is getting purified through Krishna conscious process, through following the Vaishnava rules and regulations, through following the Krishna conscious process. They, we all can be purified of the bodily conception of life and situated in the spiritual conception of life, which is I'm part and parcel of Krishna, I'm servant of Krishna. My goal is to serve Krishna, like that. Then the selfishness will go away, and this gross selfishness, that's the word Prabhupada uses, that will go away like that. So there's an aspect I wanted to share, so that way we understand it is in right perspective. Yeah. Okay. That's all. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai.